So the only thing that we can ever do is work harder. I mean, really, this is the principle that holds true and carries through no matter the situation, irrespective. Um, it's almost too simple to really elaborate on, to really talk about, because what else can we do? There are some of the most valid, legitimate excuses in the world, and they're still excuses ultimately. Um, Prime example is you see people with one limb, one arm, one leg, something like that. Maybe they've lost it in war, congenital deformity, whatever. But you'll see one arm, one leg folks like power cleaning like stupid amounts of weight. Just the fact of not even just cleaning the weight, man, but it's like it's the balancing fact. Like that's a super hard thing to, and that's just an example. But that would be like the most valid excuse if you chose to use it. You know what I'm saying? But it's still ultimately an excuse. By the strictest definition of an excuse, I don't know, but look it up in Merriam-Webster. It's going to be anything that prevents you, anything that's inhibitory toward the goal, right? So if it acts as an inhibition toward the end goal, it's an excuse. An excuse is anything that's preventative, basically, and it's in the strictest sense. And so that's why no matter what we do, we can't do anything but work harder. And hopefully the circumstances of our lives are not so bad, not so hard and harsh that we always have to turn up. But it's a blessing to always turn up, to be able to, and to have to. It's going to make you grow. It's just going to make you stronger. And again, guys, I don't really know what else, to say. We have to turn up and work harder. Like, it's just not going to happen otherwise. It's almost just too simple to say. You hear about nobody will do it for you. Well, yeah, that's true, but it's even beyond that. It's more fundamental. It's simpler than that. Nobody can do it for you. They need it. It should be changed from nobody will to nobody can. It wouldn't matter if everybody in the world was willing to do it for you. They can't. It falls to you. It falls to you. That's it. And so you just have to love the fight. You have to, this is where you have to, not only do you have to be a warrior, but you have to enjoy it. You have to love it. You have to love the fight. A warrior is someone who goes to war, right? Someone who fights. It's literally what the warrior is. It's one who fights, one who wars. And ultimately the war is with ourselves. It's the fight inside, the internal battle. It's always me versus me. But that's where loving the fight and not being repulsed by it, not resenting it, is the key. The minute that you learn to love the struggle and the suffering is when it flips. It's when it clicks. One of the biggest keys, one of the biggest premises in life is doing what you love. So if you're doing something that you hate, you're not going to do it very well. So if you hate the fight, you just won't fight well. So you have to learn to love the fight. And that's in you. That's in every single one of us. It's just about what you're fighting for. If you love what you're fighting for, you'll be willing to fight. You'll go to the ends of the earth if it's what your heart and soul truly needs, truly wants, truly desires. You have to love the fight. You have to. There's no way around it. The only way out is through. The only way out is through. And so it just is. That just means work harder. And if I could really kind of impress upon you guys one thing, is that's a blessing. That really is a blessing. It's a blessing to have to work harder. It's a blessing that you can. So I would just tell you, it's in your perspective. It's in your mindset. It's how you see it. It's really glass half full versus half empty. If you see the fight as a beautiful thing, as sort of the foundation, or sort of the propulsion toward a greater end, then you stop seeing, because all people see usually when they see the fight, they see the struggle. It's just that they just see struggle, right? They don't. It's sight beyond sight. The ability to have sight beyond sight. It's the ability to see beyond what is right in front of you. That's the superficial. There's always a deeper, a truer nature to everything. And so the fight isn't about the fight itself. It's, I mean, hell, if I can find the words, but it's about what you're fighting for, really. Instead of seeing the fight, instead of seeing the pain in the moment, see what that pain represents, what it's about. I mean, I'll use like a really cliche example, like, somebody trying to become a professional athlete, right? Think about the amount of work that takes, the amount of struggle, the years and dedication, all that stuff. Super cliche example, but through all that pain every single day, like, I play baseball, so I can relate to baseball. Like, you take 1,000 swings a day, 2,000 swings a day. You practice your mechanics, your fielding mechanics, up, down, up, down. You know what I'm saying? I won't go into the specifics of baseball, but all that sweat, all that grind every single day. Instead of being pissed off that you got to take 2,000 swings a day, instead see in your mind's eye that those 2,000 swings a day are going to translate to you standing at the plate in a Major League Baseball game, being the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the human population that ever did it. Extreme example, cliche example, but it's when you can see in the fight what the sort of true essence of that fight is. That it's not about the blood and the sweat itself. It's the victory at the end. And so when you learn to embrace that, you actually start wanting to work harder. You stop giving a shit about the things that you used to, and all you really care about is, what do I have to do to achieve this end goal? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? And you become kind of obsessive. And working harder, although it carries its own difficulty, but it's not the terrible prospect that you once thought it was. It's actually something that you look forward to, and something that you really hold dear. So guys, I tried to pull some kind of elaboration out there, because it really is a simple concept. I tried to elaborate how I could, but it really is such a simple concept. It's work harder, and no matter what, can't have no excuses, because an excuse is just something that detracts. It's just something that ultimately holds you back. What can we do? We have to rise above. I'm gonna leave it at that. We have to rise above. We have to work harder. No matter what, work harder. Truly Spartan.